ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे परम्पराम्. Everyone, continuing the flow of knowledge that is there in these concluding verses of chapter 4. Chapter 4 being predominantly Jnana, Yoga, Dhyaya. It is the knowledge which in its entirety, 42 verses, talk about the knowledge, Atmagyan, being the only and the direct means for inner freedom. I'm replacing the word with moksha with inner freedom. All of us have our own imaginations with reference to the word moksha. Moksh kise kehte hain? So there are many schools also based on that. Living with Vishnu in Vaikuntham is moksha for Dvaitam school of thought, Vishishtadvaitams. Their idea of moksha is when you are cohabiting along with Ishvara. What is moksha for Advaita Vedanta? What is moksha? Is an absolute sense of inner freedom, irrespective of anything. And that absolute freedom is very possible within a life, while you are still alive. For many schools, other schools, like Vishishtadvaitam in particular, you may have to die to get moksha. On death, you will have moksha. The phal of moksha is uncertain till death. So, Shraddha or faith is the only way in which you walk. But for Advaita Vedantam, moksha is your moksha is possible while you are alive. One doesn't wait for death. So, irrespective of your living or not non-living, you're not living means you're not there, of course, for others, means you're dead. It is irrespective is what I want to say. It's unconditional to your living or not. While you are living, it is very much a possibility. This inner freedom is meant, what does it mean? Inner freedom means when situations, circumstances, people outside and your own mood, your own desires, your own ideas, your own individuality, your own self is no longer a limited entity in your vision, and unconditionally you have freed the notion of me being this and this, me being so and so, me being limited to something. That idea itself has gone free. It has freed itself. These are words to convey something. Your mind must translate it as how we see a gradation of happiness in different people. There are some people who, with a lot of difficulties and strife and struggle, still retain some degree of happiness. There are some people who have everything smooth going in life and yet they are unhappy. Now, just that condition, was it the external things or was it your own view of how you contacted things and people? Moksha is finding freedom from both. What I mean by both is neither are external conditions a condition for your happiness nor of unhappiness. Neither are you, your state of mind, your small vision of yourself being an individual, unconditionally searching for happiness. Neither are you the reason for your happiness, means a shift of attitude and you got happy. That is what I mean by saying here. Or a change of mind and when everything is fine, you're unhappy. Neither of these two. I'll repeat myself. When I say moksha means freedom from both. For this both, I'm giving two examples. The two examples are from the world. One example is you find people having a lot of difficulties and yet they're happy. They discover happiness. This discovery of happiness, they have to some degree freed themselves from the external situation and found the happiness by change of their mind, attitudes, how they look upon struggle or strife. They found their happiness through a change of their mental processing, thinking. There are other set of people who have everything fine in their life, from another person's standpoint, of course. On apparent grounds, like he said yesterday, sab sadharan, whatever the lok can offer you, the world can offer you, everything that is sadharan available, they have. Yet their state of mind is not equivalent. They are not finding the happiness despite of all the comforts that the world can provide. Both of these, a person who has external struggle, all reasons to be unhappy otherwise, apparently, but is still happy. He discovered his happiness in those conditions by changing a thought process, changing the mind, by changing how he looks upon larger aspects of life. That example that we have often heard, a person who had no legs has enough reason to cry, complain, be unhappy about. But a person with one leg should be having that much happiness compared to the one who has no legs. But that person with one leg, compared to that, people with two legs should have more happiness. Compared to ones with two legs, the person with a bicycle should have more happiness and multiply it. But is this proportion really seen? You find that the least advantageous position of life sometimes, in fact, mostly we suspect, they have learned to discover their happiness, the ones who have least advantages in life. But is that moksha? Is that happiness the happiness that Advaita Vedanta is talking about? Those least advantageous positions, that's why you find sometimes pure joy coming out on their faces in smallest of things. Those who don't have a full stomach, when you just take them one day, you find a lot of vlogs on YouTube and everywhere that some people take these, would take these philanthropic activity of one Sunday going out, picking up street children and taking them to some street chaat fellow or some street chola bhatura person and telling that person, feed them whatever they want. So they'll have jalebi, they'll have, and the joy on their face. That pure joy, exuberating. Is that pure joy at that moment Moksha, that's what our question is. Answer we all know. It is not. Why? Because it is subject to change tomorrow. The same person who is less privileged today, by God's grace, by his effort, by his perseverance, becomes a big person tomorrow. He grows up. He has all the sadharan things that he did not have before. Today he has. Will his state of mind and that joy retain itself tomorrow? No, it doesn't retain. Because that happiness that he discovered at that time was helplessly discovered. Because the need is to be happy. So we change our thought processes, but we change them temporarily to find some relief and some happiness for that time. But that temporary relief and temporary happiness is not inner freedom that Vedanta is talking about, for which it says knowledge is the direct means. I hope the connection is clear. Knowledge is the direct means for which freedom of ours? What inner freedom? Most of us will turn up and say, where are we in a disadvantageous position? We are all fairly happy. But is this happiness sustainable? Is this enough freedom sustained? It's not sustained. And sustained must mean not just the waking state and its conditions. The sustenance of this means irrespective of me going through the cycles of dream and deep sleep and waking and dream and deep sleep and waking, my identity of me being free of the three has been located. It is already there. I need to put in some purusharths to locate it, is what Vedanta says. So what will be that purusharth? What tool will I hang on to locate it? Like the gold miners, when they go to mine gold, there are some tools they carry with them. Without the tools, they know that there is gold there, but without those tools, they can't dig the gold out. In the same way, you are the source of happiness, unconditional, Vedanta says. You are that Paramasukham. Ananda, your Swabhav is Anandam. You are already a Mukta Purusha. You are already Mukta. But to discover that, to locate that, you will need some tool today, because what you have tooled yourself with, what you have identified yourself with, what you have become sanyukta with. In Sanskrit you have sanyukta akshara. So I find them very fascinating, or I like them because they reflect to me sanyukta akshar. दो अक्षर जुड़ के एक साउंड बनता है. Like we say jnana. Actually it is ja and jna. So many times people pronounce it as jnana. We say jnana. In North it's become jnana. This sanyukta akshar has one sound, but there are two syllables. Now today I am who as an individual? I am seeing myself as one individual. But actually this sanyukta that I have formed with this body, with this equipment of mind and thinking, with this, from wherever the seed of my desires are fructifying, I have sanyuktata with them, but factually speaking, I am separate from it. I appear one with this, but I am separate. So the tool that I need to separate them out is the tool that Vedanta says, 4th chapter has indicated that tool clearly is only your jnana sadhana. That sadhana means tool. Sadhan. The miner has his tools. If you go to dig coal in a coal mine, will you carry the same tools when you go to dig gold mine? Coal mine will have different set of tools. Gold mine will have different set of tools. If you use the same tools that you used for coal mine in a gold mine, you will neither get gold nor coal. You cannot get it because it is a tool which is inapplicable to your discovery of what you want. You need something very fine, something very thin. In the same way, if enough freedom is what you seek, then your tool has to be in accordance to it. If inner permanent freedom you seek, then your tool also must be as fine and refined as the inner leisure is. It must lead to that. Jnana sadhana means वो साधन ज्ञान है. Gyan is that tool जिससे you sift away the sanyukta that you have with your personality layers. You sift away those and identify, locate, discover, rediscover should be the word. You locate it with the help of Gyan. Gyan itself is the tool. So what do you have to do, really speaking? You just have to identify with the knowledge. Because knowledge is the tool which will help discovering it. It will unfold it. Knowledge will, आपको क्या करना है? आपको सिर्फ अपना जो टूल जिसके लिए यूज हो रहा है उसको करना है. कर्म का टूल यूज होता है अपनी मन की शांति के लिए जब आप संयुक्त है इस शरीर से. कर्म इसलिए वो टूल है. आप वो टूल उसके लिए यूज करें. फिर ज्ञान जब टूल इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं इसमें आपको करना कुछ नहीं है. All that you require is go through the Shravanam in a systematic way. Follow it to dissolve away the Sanyukta. Bring up the doubts. Whatever doubts come, Shastra itself gives. Actually, we don't even need the questions. By the time one comes to Bhashyam Adhyanam, we realize that हमारी बुद्धि तो वो सिंपल प्रश्न तक भी शायद ना पहुंचती. This was sheer anugraha of these bhashyams that you realize our parampara teachers, acharyas of the past have already projected that normal मन में जो प्रश्न आना चाहिए, they put that prashna there and then they answer it also. So the whole bhashyam is in the form of a question and answer, a question that I as a student should be asking, but I am caught up with my senses and my jiva buddhi and I fail to come to that subtlety of sukshmata of my buddhi. So I take it, gulp it. You know how we just gulp whatever's there. We just gulp it down thinking this is knowledge. But if you have not churned it within yourself, then this is not bringing the seed up. It is not helping the maturity of the knowledge. So he said here, while those sadhanas are the final pramanam, it is the sadhana, jnana, tool which will discover it. But while using the tool, there are certain dissipators that even though you are listening to knowledge for a period of time in your own mind, trying to do the practices, but somewhere you have missed out on the fact that from your past habits, you are carrying forward certain contrary to jnana sadhana tools also. आपने वो भी रखे हुए हैं अपने पास. Or they keep expressing themselves. And what are those? In 40th verse he had said, Agneha. Agneha means, however much I am taking the knowledge, Atma Satyam Jagan Mithya, I am putting no effort and I will capitalize N-O. I am putting no effort to discover this truth. Means what? सुनने में मेरे को क्या लगता है effort? Really speaking, I have to manage my day to take the time out. And then my ears are listening. I have to be attentive. But Atma Satyam Jagan Mithya must be followed by my drishti of seeing Jagan Mithya. मेरी दृष्टि में भी तो मुझे दिखना चाहिए. मैंने सुना, and then what happened? The minute the class is over or मेरा सुनना is over, my sense of reality with reference to the world hasn't shaken. I have put in no effort to doubt that. I doubt the Shastra, that's easy for me. But what the Shastra tells me, and then I start doubting in my own self, why am I so certain about this world being real? If scripture tells me, Shastra tells me, Adhyan tells me that my inner freedom is only when I see the falseness of this appearing world. What did I do to see that? In my thinking, because I don't have to do physically anything. But my thinking must change. What did I do to bring that change in my thinking? So he says, Agneha meant that my thinking has no change in it. My Adhyanam starts and my Adhyanam ends. Goes on for years. But correction of that, when I contact the world, when I get back to the world, the minute I close the book, I get to the world, that retaining that doesn't happen. Retaining the perception that by grace I may have got for a moment, there afterwards the job is to hold it. He says Agneha means in spite of this, जो जगत की सत्यत्वम हमारी दृष्टि में रहती है, उसी को हम अज्ञान कहते हैं. That Agneha, knower of the world being real, is ज्ञान साधना को nullify करने वाली वृत्ति. Vritti means thought. However much on one side you may say, I'm trying, I'm learning, I'm hearing, I have faith, I'm Shraddha, I am understanding, I'm doing all my everything said. Whatever. But the minute I contact the world, the Satyatva Buddhi means all that I did hasn't translated into seeing the world as Mithya. Non-Satyam. And what is Mithya? Again, you've heard it all many times just for the sake of one line repetition. Mithya word means appearance. When you are actually, you have a lot of privileges being a Vedanta student. I have said this many times before. The teachers are very disadvantaged people. The acharyas of this have a lot of disadvantages, but the students have a lot of advantages. It is wisdom to retain that length as long as possible, because this nature of appearance, you can dwell on it till you have grasped it. While your life will continue, and the Shastra tells us, gives us the freedom. Nothing in my external world need change. No relations need change. No actions need change. I can continue to be in the midst of activity. But along with it, that stirrer, jamun, for curd, would be to see the world as an appearance. Mithya means what? It's an appearance. And where is it false? Has scripture given us a false ideology? Is it giving us some sort of an imaginary thought? Is it not verifiable by me that, yesterday's day disappeared? The today's day is also disappeared. Already half of it is gone. It is disappearing as it is appearing. This what Buddhists have called as Shanikam. But Vedanta doesn't call it as Shanik. Shanika Satyatvam nahi hai iska. The whole Shanikam is Mithya. It is one appearance. This one appearance, if I'm not bringing my mind to begin to accept it, because ruk ke ashraddha is my seed. How can this be so? After all, they only said you sow your own seeds, you reap your own phal. अगर आप खुद ही सीड बोते हो अपने कर्मों का और खुद ही फल पाते हो, भोगते हो, तो फिर ये सब सत्य ही हुआ ना? Common sense. Well, if you are telling me law of karma works in real, then that means it's real. And if it's real, then how are you saying this is mithya? How are you saying this is an appearance? That means karma is real, so I might as well continue doing correct karmas. I might as well focus, because I'll need a lot of discipline doing that also. Ashraddha seeds start slipping into Jnana Kand. Karam Kand has a different formula, tool different. Karam Kand ka tool is a big axe, big drilling machine. Big machinery is Karam Kand, because your objective is taking out coal. Karam Kand objective is to give Chitta Shuddhi. The machinery is different. Jnana Kand, the machinery is very different. What they have is such a thin, I don't know what that real word is, with which they excavate that. It's so fine because it's in a thin strand and will be dispersed over a lot of rock. And they have to take that out. It's very, approach to that is different. Jnana Kand approach is different. You cannot carry the Karma Kand approach into Jnana Kand. Therefore, he said this Ashraddha slips back into Jnana Kand. So by Anugraha, by grace, somehow we are still hooked on to Vedanta. By some Anugraha of ours in our life, in fact, it is Vedanta's Anugraha that the just जो भी श्रोता बनता है वेदांता का वो ही, it's a very beautiful circle, like we said in yesterday's class. पाप का एक अपना ही cycle है, and I gave you the homework. पुण्य का भी एक अपना ही cycle है. So वेदांत श्रवणम एक ऐसा पुण्य generate करता है that after some, even if you want to leave it, बस हो गया, बहुत हो गया, it doesn't leave you. This is what is a fascinating discovery for most of us. Many times we say bas ho gaya, chhod do. Many people say that. Bahut sun liya, bas ho gaya. After some time you suddenly realize, no, you still have the query, you still have the attraction, you still want to know more, you may have covered so much, but it still doesn't seem to have got covered enough for you not to be fascinated by it. That fascination or that attraction for those words there is the punyam that you earn. So by it's inherent in it. श्रवणम में ही वो पुण्य inherent है कि वेदांत का श्रवणम ही तुम्हारा वो बना देता है, that much that you again get the shravanam of it. So it's a vicious circle upwards. It's a beautiful spiraling upwards, because till the nishtha has happened, I may have to hear it n number of times. I don't know how many times before my mind has become receptive to pick up that gold from the mine. He said this ashraddha, when it keeps seeping in, it again keeps taking out my nishtha, jnana sadhana ko dilute kar deta hai. And the third thing amongst, which is the worst of these, is when I start doubting the very knowledge. He said, because it's important to understand Sanshaya Buddhi. Shraddha and Sanshaya can't go together. The one who has Shraddha will not have Sanshaya. The one who has Shraddha has another pitfall. The pitfall is he is likely to become a Viveki. हो सकता है कभी वो श्रद्धा के basis पे he takes the words, gulps them down like I just said. He'll just take, कभी समझ में आ जाएगा करके. The mand prasthanata can set in. He will not be eager to understand them. Because Shraddha pe is adopted them. It's like an adopted child. You've adopted it, but it's still not yours. You don't understand it. But you have kept it as yours. There's a distance between them. This mand prasthanata is a reason, because Shraddha is a strong force, but it can lead to that. Whereas Sanshaya is something which is where Shraddha itself is wavering. Shraddha ही मेरी डगमगाती है. और डगमगाती क्यों है? Because somewhere the praman of dunya, which includes science is as much a praman based on senses. Any praman from the world, चाहे वो दुनिया की परंपरा का क्यों ना हो, scientific minded क्यों ना हो, फिर भी your sanshaya will come to the validity of the Veda praman. How can this be true? Because you can't see it, feel it, etc. He says those who have these three, definitely there is a fall, vinashyati. The chances of you growing yourself into the perception of discovering your inner absolute freedom is destroyed. And you gain nothing. Now he's talked about how is it that the doubt can be taken care of once and for all. Remove मेरा जो संशय बुद्धि है, इसको how can I extinguish it, or how can I manage it? Or how did those people do it who did it? How did they reach the culmination of the jnana sadhana? How did they manage to manage this wormy mind? Wormy mind? Wormy mind is प्रश्न को लेके उठ जाना, संशय उठता है. It's like wriggling up. After a few days again, wriggle up. How can it be? One thing, now we all have a lot of nishtha. When you are new to the classes, I remember a lot of us, when we started teaching also, it was constant question you had to address. Because दुनिया में लोग कहेंगे do this, do that. There are many paths available in the world. So you may please follow spirituality through it. So when new people come, absolutely new, you have come from a platter of spiritual paths. एक तरफ तुम्हारे environment में कोई somebody is doing say Buddhist chanting, someone is doing puja patha, someone is doing many other such things. I will not name them. There are many platters available. Amongst them, one of them is scientific head also. There are many platters. Now you in the initial stages have a doubt. तुम्हारा तो जीवन एक ही है ना, तुम्हारी इच्छा चाहे है कि गति हो, लेकिन इतने मार्ग और इतने अलग अलग रास्ते बता रहे हैं सब. What should you take to? How did these people handle these sanshayas? Sanshaya right from that beginning stage. What should I take? Should I take Vedanta as a full-time part, as a mental adaptation, because it's going to be on faith, it's going to be on Shraddha? I don't know what Vedanta will give me. Who's asked for freedom anyway? I was just asking for how to handle this problem or that problem. Or to develop myself as a person so that I can do better actions. I manage myself better. I manage my mind better. I manage my time better. Inner freedom किसने मांगा? मुझे पता ही नहीं था कि there's something like inner freedom. Should I do this or should I take to another path? Should I do hatha yoga? Should I do social service? Should I do karmas, as in spend my life with serving the needy? Should I do worship of one God forever? Sanshaya. I have a choice, no? So if I have a choice, I can have sanshaya. क्या करूं मैं? Which path should I take? So sanshaya right from there up to the point of sanshaya where anatma mithyatvam का निश्चय करने के लिए you will need some very specific informations. Your mind has to dwell on it. तर्क जो देता है शास्त्र, उस तर्क का grasp होना है. And you may have two contradictory thoughts going in the mind. So sanshaya right from how do I start the process of my unfoldment, spiritual gati किसे कहते हैं, spiritual path किसे कहते हैं, right from those levels up to the point of the finest discernment, having sanshaya. 41st verse is, how do these people handle that? So Shankara had last said kasma. How? The concluding bhashyam, 40th verse, last line was tasmat sanshayah na kartavyah. Therefore, do not entertain sanshaya of the nature where you doubt the very benefactor, which is Shastram. Do not. Kasmat. How? Yasmat. Because. And then starts the 41st verse. We'll just chant this verse. So, Shruti Bhatia.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam.
Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam.
Jnana Samchinna Samshayam.
Jnana Samchinna Samshayam.
I will resound the Anuswara on the sa followed by cha. So just that nasal of the cha varga, I will do that. Jnana Samchinna Samshayam.
Jnana Samchinna Samshayam.
Atmavantam na karmani.
Atmavantam na karmani.
Nibatnanti dhananjaya.
Nibatnanti निबध्नन्ति न धनञ्जय
निबध्नन्ति
निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय
योगसंन्यस्तकर्माणं ज्ञानसञ्छिन्नसंशयम्
योगसंन्यस्तकर्माणम् ज्ञानसञ्छिन्नसंशयम्
आत्मवन्तं न कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय
आत्मवन्तं न कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय.
Again, nibadhnanti is a small iki matra. So take care of not sounding as nibadhnanti. Just nibadhnanti. Yogasanyasta-karmanam jnana-samchinna-samshayam atmavantam na-karmani nibadhnanti dhananjaya.
योगसंन्यस्तकर्माणम् ज्ञानसञ्छिन्नसंशयम् आत्मवन्तं न कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय.
He is talking about how the Jnani, or let me put it this way, the Lakshanas of the Jnani. He shows 3 descriptions. First one is Yoga Sannyasta Karmani. Let me share the screen. Got it?
Yes.
So, Yoga Sannyasta Karmanam. This is the first one. This is the first description, you can say, of the one who has successfully completed Jnana Sadhana. Second is Jnana Samchinna Samshayam. Because remember, the question is, how did the Sanshaya get managed with such a person, for such a person? Jnana Samchinna Samshayam. How did he manage the Sanshaya? This is the quarter of the verse which explains that. Atmavantam. This is the third description of the Jnani. So what is Yoga Sannyasta Karmanam? Yoga Sannyasta Karmanam, जिसने समस्त कर्मों को त्याग दिया है. संन्यस्त, समस्त. संन्यस्त means समस्त त्याग. समस्त किसका त्याग? कर्मों का. A lot of, हम सभी समस्त कर्म त्यागते हैं when we go to sleep. सारे कर्म छोड़ के ही सोते हैं हम. Is that what it means? No. समस्त कर्म का त्याग किया है with yoga. Means he wanted his own inner freedom. That process से जुड़ने के लिए, that spiritual path that he took up, that is the first meaning of yoga. But in this context, specifically, he defines yoga as Jnana Yoga. And this incidentally is also the place from where chapter 4 gets its title. Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. This is yoga, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. That is the explanation of this phrase itself. जिसने ज्ञान योग से समस्त कर्मों को त्याग दिया है. Who has renounced all actions through Jnana Yoga. Which means what? All actions Means, as we have seen now in the past section of this chapter, Jnana sadhana is all about asserting to yourself Atma, Aham Atma. Aham Atma Asmi. I am Atma. I am Brahman. Brahma Asmi. You know? Asserting that through reflection and through negation of what is not Atma in my vision. Through that process, Jnana Yoga is that. Establishing in that, he gives up all dependency on the cycle of karma and phala. Karma or phal ki dependency is starting from the very ignorant state, jivatva state. If I don't earn for myself, I can't feed me and my family. Means there is a causation. I do and I earn. I do, so I get. This I do and I earn automatically refers to I do and I earn refers to the very first cycle of jivatva, kartritva, bhoktritva, bandhan, which Shastra told us through Karam Yoga break that. Means now I work not for bread and butter. I continue to act, but I act for a higher reason. And that higher reason is I aspire for Shuddhi. So I offer actions into the fire of different fields so that I am able to destroy my raga, dvesha, ahankar, etc. The first chains of my inner freedom. The first bondage. Through Karam Yoga, I do that. After Karam Yoga, once my mind is free, yes. Jnana Yoga say, I now start giving up the very Karam Yoga का जो कर्तृत्व है, जिसने dissolve कर दिया है, but I still see myself as a karta. So the 18th verse of this chapter said, the one who sees akarma in karma and karma in akarma, one who recognizes that self as akarta in all the karmas, means while my karmas are going on, he has pinned it. You know, in this software also you can pin a person, pinned it. So what has he pinned himself? He's pinned that Atma is akarta. While the body is engaged in actions, the mind can think I am the doer. The person who has Jnana Yoga Sadhana, he pins through the action that Atma remains the akarta and I am Atma. Through his practices, he can get firmer and firmer in it. Then how? Second thing, Jnana Samchinna Samshayam. The one who has actually Samchinna should mean काटना, अच्छे से काट देना. Here it is said नाश कर दिया. Severed the doubts. जिसने संशय को severed it through what? ज्ञान. तो जिसने ज्ञान द्वारा समस्त संशयों का नाश कर दिया है. Who has severed doubt through knowledge, by knowledge. Means he has no sanshay left. He doesn't have a doubt. Is it Karma Yoga that will give me moksha or is it Jnana Yoga that will give me moksha? Do all paths lead to moksha? Does every spiritual path mean moksha? Do all religions aim at moksha? There is no sanshaya. He doesn't have any doubt that this Panchabhut Vikari is Anatma. And I am distinct from it. That this Panchakosha Vikari is Atma also. Panchabhuta Panchakosha Avasthatraya Sakshi I am. This whole Drishyam Drashta I am. He has no doubt left. So the whole appearing world of seen so real starts to, the first stages of it is आपको संशय उसमें आने लगता है, ये सच में रियल है. After I don't know about, many of us are probably those who go to ashrams to study this, and when you are told in the first, like we couldn't go out at all for some months, and then all morning, noon, evening, night, your mind is only exposed to this. No newspapers, no festivals, no nothing, no Sundays. You start lose cognition of days and times and dates and everything that the world is moving, the speed with which the world moves. Your system starts to generate another orientation. And after many months, when the first time you come out, I've given this example in classes before also. When the first time you stepped out and contacted the world again, the very first moments, your mind is overwhelmed. They are two different realities. The first time you start sensing the illusory nature of the world is when your own mind has got another reality. Unless until you have discovered that reality, to be able to be exposed to this and have Shravanam and then stay firm and exposed to the same reality, you cannot suspect that. Because you may understand, but you can't suspect it that this is not real. You've heard it, you've understood it, but we're just, that sanshaya should be with reference to, my God, the people moving, and then because there were local trains at that time, jam-packed local trains, and they were only seen as people with desires, working, rushing to fulfill themselves with a hope that they get something there, and you just sit there at that amongst the crowds and you wonder which is real. All people running, trying to get their happiness, can they really be so wrong? Is that the doubt that you must question yourself? Can the whole world pursuing bread and butter and running after objects and chasing something, can all of them be wrong? And here Shastra says, anywhere rare one gets me, and that one odd whoever must have gotten whichever generation, am I to pursue that? How can all these people be wrong? Now that संशय जिसने ज्ञान की साधना द्वारा, संशय अब उसको इसमें नहीं उसमें है, लौकिक दुनिया की बातों में संशय है अब उसको, एक्चुअली वो संशय भी नहीं है, बहुत इनिशियल डाउट है, वो फर्म हो जाता है कि that is how most of the people, by the time the gyan becomes firm, they also become quiet. What is there to talk to whom? Who really desires sadhana? Who jnana sadhana for the sake of culmination? So they realize that this is a different reality in which the जो निकल के आएगा, like the Plato's metaphor, जो निकल के आएगा वो अपने आप सीख करेगा. जो सीख करेगा उसको समझ में आएगा सब at one go, like we said yesterday, like a piston falling in smoothly, ज्ञान बैठ जाएगा उसके अंतःकरण में. And he will instantly be able to discern anatma from atma. That's the degree of validity of this praman. This person, Jnani, who has done the Jnana sadhanas and is a Jnani, उसने ज्ञान से संचिन्न अच्छे से सब संशय को destroy कर दिया है, severed all doubts. And because of it, what has happened? Atmavantam. He is composed, collected, poised. Literal word is only this much. Atmavantam. He now establishes his own self. What does that mean? In the vision of the reality. He's composed means poised in the vision of the reality. Vash mein kiya hua antakaran is the first meaning. Atmavantam means ab usne apne antakaran ko vash mein kiya hai, but the full sentence should further be, but he abides in his own self. उस ज्ञान में वो निष्ठ है. And I only know recent times there is one, are fortunate to even hear of it. Otherwise, all Gyanis के हमारे example तो बहुत पहले के हैं. Ramana, we know by his very being, the way he expressed that Atmavantam, he was Atmavantam, composed in the vision of reality. जगत चल रहा है, सब हो रहा है, तुम्हारा शरीर भी कर्म कर रहा है, but his vision is Atmavantam. To such a person, or Dhananjaya, remember Krishna is still in a conversation with Arjuna. Every time we get into the explanation of the verse, we somehow think this is related to us. And इतना जुड़ जाते हैं हम इस verse के साथ that background में that the verse has a context where Krishna is still talking to Arjuna and his condition of mind, which is related to us. O Dhananjaya, Dhananjaya means the one who had won dhanam, laurels of various kinds. Arjuna, na karmani nibadhnanti. Actions do not bind such a person. Actions do not bind is still the topic. Remember, though the chapter is Jnana, referring about Jnanam, talking about Jnana Sadhana, describing a Jnani, yet conversation is ending in this chapter by Krishna telling Arjuna, उसको कर्म बांधता नहीं है, means जो ज्ञान के विजन में रहता है और कर्म करता है, उसके physical actions he continues to do. So sannyasta karmani here doesn't mean that he gives up physical actions. He doesn't even give it up mentally. He gives up the kartritva, satyatva buddhi in the nishtha of karma being real. He gave that up. Such a person ko karm nahi bandte, means now karma and phala cycle he's freed of. And if you just quickly read the translation, हे धनंजय, जिसने कर्म योग की विधि से, यहाँ पे actually it should be, I had corrected it, I don't know, ज्ञान योग की विधि से, it should be ज्ञान योग. Do it. Oh, I don't know if I can type. Right here. Okay. ज्ञान योग की विधि से समस्त कर्मों को परमात्मा में अर्पण कर दिया है, जिसने विवेक द्वारा, ज्ञान द्वारा, this can also be ज्ञान द्वारा, समस्त संशयों का नाश कर दिया है, ऐसे वश में किए हुए अंतःकरण वाले पुरुष को कर्म नहीं बांधता. And in English is a little more closer in this verse to real meaning. Actions do not bind the one who has renounced karma through jnana yoga, even though engaged in activity, whose doubt is severed by knowledge, and who is composed. Composed means whose vision of reality is never lost. O Dhananjaya, his karmas don't bind him. Actions do not bind such a one. Here we will quickly do the bhashyam. Let's do it. I will just bring the bhashyam up. Okay.
Can't see anything.
Can't see?
No, it's a blank screen.
Oh. Now?
No. You want to stop once and share it again? Sometimes it gets.
I just did that.
The mouse was visible though.
What was visible?
The mouse pointer.
Okay. Now?
Same now.
Oh. I guess we'll have to refresh it. 1 second. Now?
No.
No?
Same.
Harry?
It's
I seem to
blank.
have mixed up the steps again. Oh God, they're just, I think there's a technique to share.
Blank.
Now you should get it.
No.
Blank.
Okay, so most of us have our books. Let me try one last time. No? No.
No.
Okay, let me do pause and then let me do this.
No.
No. Now I'm sharing. No?
No.
No. Blank screen.
Okay, let's just leave it for some time. Let's just start. And then I think I'll try again in a little while.
Okay.
You have your book, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam
Paramartha Darshana Lakshanena
Paramartha Darshana Lakshanena
Yogena Sanyastani
Yogena Sanyastani
Karmani Yena Paramartha Darshana
Karmani Yena Paramartha Darshina
Paramartha Darshana
Paramartha Darshina
Dharma Dharmakhyani
Dharma Dharmakhyani
Tam Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam.
Tam Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam.
So as we will see that Bhashyakara I'm trying to share. If you see it, say yes.
Nothing.
Someone has changed the setting. Let's just I'll close that also. Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam, the first word of the verse itself. What is that? Paramartha Darshana Lakshanena. He's explaining the word, Shankara is, by saying this yoga means what? He says, by the Lakshana of Paramartha Darshana. Means by understanding. Lakshana here is knowing, understanding. What? Param Artha Darshana. By seeing, Darshana seeing. The indications through Atmanatma Vivek, through Gyan, seeing that he is able to yogena, that is his yoga, sanyasta karmani, he gives up all karmas. I'll repeat this. Yoga sanyasta karmanam is explained as paramartha darshana lakshanena yogena sanyastani karmani yena paramartha darshana. This is a whole explanation. First he says, who is a paramartha darshana? The one who is, with the help of the Lakshanas, sees the Paramartha Vastu clearly. This much meaning. Because he sees the Paramartha Vastu clearly, therefore he gives up the karma. Samasta karma. He is able to give up his dependency completely. After all, when Atma is Swatantra Siddham, it is Paripurnam, it is Sukha Adhanam, Sukha Adhishthanam also. it is Sukha Adhishtanam, it is Nityam. When Atma is all this and I am that, what do I need? The body needs the food. But what do I need? Nothing. So the karma's dependency, it goes away from such a person. Continues the karma, but the dependency has gone. That's what he means here. And what karmas? Dharma, adharma, akhyani. Those that are called as dharma and adharma. Dharma means punya generator. Adharma means papa generator. Because in the previous verse he said Sanshayatma is the worst kind of papa. Here he says the one whose Paramartha Darshana is clear in that, for him he rises above, means he is now no longer in the cycle of punya or papa. Not just papam has it given up, he is given up even punya. There is no necessity for any karma at all. Katham yoga sanyasta karma iti. How is that all karmas given up in that jnana yoga iti? That aha is now being said as the second meaning. I still see it as the second meaning of second word in the verse jnana samchinna samshayam, and that is jnana samchinna samshayam.
Jnana samchinna samshayam.
Jnanena
Jnanena
Atma Ishvara Ekatva Darshana Lakshanena.
Atma Ishwar Ekatva Darshana Lakshanena.
Samchinnaha
Tamchinnaha
Samshayaha
Tamshayaha
Yasya Saha
Yasya Saha
Jnana Samchinna Samshayam Ha.
Jnana Samchinna Samshayaha.
Can't see still, right? He says Jnana Samchinna Samshayaha. Jnanena, by knowledge, by Jnanam. What sort of a Jnanam? Jnana is equal to Atma Ishvara Ekatva Darshana. Means Jiva Ishvara Ekatva Darshana. Means Ishvara is Brahman, Jiva is Brahman, Tattvam Asi Darshana. Darshana, not Shravana. Darshana. He sees it. He has understood this Ekatvam. He heard about the Ekatvam. Now with Jnana Sadhana, he now sees the Ekatva. And not in an external format, obviously. He sees that there is only Ekatvam. There is no bhed between Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat. Look at it the other way. To us, as the bhed reduces, to that an extent the knowledge has nishtha. For a jnani, lakshana is no bhed, nishtha, full nishtha. So with knowledge of Atma, Ishvara, Ekatva, Darshana, Lakshanena, with that Lakshana, Samchinnaha, Sanshaya, Yasya, Saha. With that knowledge, he has cut asunder all doubts. Not through karma, not through restraints, not through nigraha, indriya nigraha, mano nigraha, not through nigraha, not through change of attitude, not through upasana, not through various spiritual practices. Any practice it can be. Many practices there are. All of them will bring about Shuddhi. But only jnana sadhana, which means what is in specific jnana sadhana. If you say Atma and Atma Viveka, put it another way is how Shankara has put it here. He says Atma Ishvara Ekatva. That Atma and Atma Vivek है क्या? जगत मिथ्या सुन सुन के भी अब जगत मिथ्या मिथ्यत्व तो नहीं हुआ, कान थोड़ा थोड़ा रिंगिंग होने लगती है. एवरी टाइम यू से जगत मिथ्या, देयर इज रिंगिंग इन माय ईयर. बट जगत, okay, okay, I've understood. But okay, let's put it another way then. Shankara says your ears may have got acclimatized because manan nahi ho raha hai na साथ. Otherwise, why should knowledge get acclimatized to you? Why should the words get acclimatized? Why is it taking so long? Because your sadhanas are not getting done. That is why it's taking so long. Not because the knowledge takes so long. He said it in Achirena, Shipram hi gachati. The one who has knowledge, with the Shipram usse mil jayega ye perception. Therefore, he puts it another way. Atma Ishvara Ekatva Darshana. He has darshanam of Atma and Ishvara Ekatvam. That is called Jnana Sadhana, Jnana Yoga. This, in that light, all his doubts have gone cut asunder. Usko koi sanshay nahi reh gaya. He will still see people as people. He will still see world as world. Sun will still continue to rise. There will still be changing seasons. There will still be Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, Ajnana, born, Srishti will continue. But what has happened to his vision? He sees it non-separate. This is not real. It is appearing just as Swapna दुनिया में, स्वप्न अवस्था में, स्वप्न शरीर है, स्वप्न व्यापार है, स्वप्न काल है. There is whole interaction there. स्वप्न का अपना काल भी है. उस स्वप्न काल में स्वप्न एक्सपीरियंस है. बट उठते ही क्या हुआ? You saw the dream as non-separate from you. स्वप्न में वो जगत अलग है, आप अलग हो, जगत अलग है, काल अलग है. मगर आप जब उठे जागृत में, तो the whole thing got dissolved into one. Non-separate from me. That is what it means here. That knowledge में he dissolves away all these doubts. यह एवं योग संन्यस्त कर्मा
योग संन्यस्त कर्मा
तम आत्मवंतम अप्रमत्तम गुणचेष्टा रूपेण दृष्टानि कर्माणि न निबध्नन्ति अनिष्टादिरूपं फलम् न
आरभन्ते
हे
धनंजय
यह एवं, in this manner, योग संन्यस्त कर्मा तम आत्मवंतम, जिसने सब ज्ञान योगा से कर्मों को, समस्त कर्मों को give up कर दिया है, given their pursuits. Let's put it this way. He's given up the pursuit of all realms of karma. That tam, वो, उस स्थिति में, आत्मवंतम, he sits abiding in himself. He is abiding in himself. And Shankara gives a beautiful word for apramattam. Atmavantam is equal to apramattam. So to understand Atmavantam of Moolam is the word apramattam. And what does apramattam mean? Pramad rahit. Pramad rahit ho gaya hai. What does pramada mean? Pramada means the one, if you remember the gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, and we said तमस का कैरेक्टरिस्टिक इज, जिस जीव में तमस बहुत है उसमें प्रमाद बहुत है. प्रमाद मीन्स अ सेंस ऑफ heedlessness, carelessness, and carelessness means indifference of the nature of, it doesn't matter to me. It's something like that. It's like how I said before in one class, I remember when we saw there's a video floating again of a child complaining to the parent. The parent is about to eat something and the child is still young and cries and doesn't want to have that. It's a non-veg dish. It's rebelling. The family has been eating it, but the child is rebelling its consumption. And all the argument that the child gives is, but it would be in pain. It's such a sight to see the child suffering at the thought that there must be another suffering caused. When I say I don't care, that sensitivity to other things is lost. We are insensitive. That insensitivity is because of pramad. Pramad means mohit hona, dull. There is dullness in oneself. That dullness of the intellect is called pramad. It refuses to think beyond certain apni gratification. It refuses to think beyond self-gratification is pramad. He says, Atmavantam. How did he become Atmavantam? He is apramatam. He is pramada rahitam. He has no mechanicalness. He has no carelessness. He is not indifferent. He is not insensitive. He is not bothered. How today people write, I am not bothered. I can't care less. It doesn't concern me. Their attitudes are, it doesn't concern me. When all that is pramad, what life on planet concerns everybody. If one life goes, it connects to you. Vaidika life evolved around it. Evolved in recognition and respect of life force. Because the same life force is running through all bodies. It's not a different life force in me and a different life force in a plant and a different life force it's the same life force. It's like we said in the 11th chapter, the verse says, like the beats on a string. All life beings are beats on a string. That life force is running through all of them, enlivening them. It's the same life force. So if I am recognized my life force, I cannot be indifferent to another life force. That's what he means. He's such a person. Guna cheshta rupena. What does he further recognize? He says all karmas, because he's atmavantam, सृष्टि अपने गुणों से चलती रहती है. Those gunas are not rare. They're all temporary appearance. They just express themselves based on the gunas. Guna guneshu vartante. The srishti will abide in itself. By itself. It will sustain by it. Gunas will sustain the gunas. And this guna cheshta rupena, Prakriti is doing it. In the previous 3rd chapter, he says, all karmas are done by Prakriti, not by me. My gunas are the ones that are generating the actions. I am not the karta. I don't have to have a kartritva bhav. मेरे कर्म भी जो हो रहे हैं वो गुणों से हो रहे हैं. So that he is very drishtani. He sees it very clearly. Karam, the 3rd chapter, I should have brought the reference here, but you can do your homework, where he says all karmas are only born from Prakriti. I'm sure Shalini would remember it. Prakritir gunaihi. The verse is that. So, guna cheshta rupena drishtani karmani na nibadnanti. To such a person, karmas don't bind. Which person who sees karmas are the result of Prakriti, not because of Atma. and certainly therefore not because of me. I don't do the karma. It is the gunas that generate the karma. This he becomes clear about. Na nibannanti. Therefore, anishtadi rupam phalam na arabhante. Therefore, all his karmas cease to generate. Arambh ही नहीं करते. Anishta adi rupam phalam. Adi means punyam here. Inauspicious and auspicious, both. वो फल ही नहीं generate करते उसके कर्म. Because he is not the karta. Through jnana sadhana, he has identified with Atma Akarta. In Atma Akarta Drishti, that he is Atmavantam. He abides in, poised in that. He sees Srishti. His body does actions, but he knows the karmas are generated by the gunas. और ये गुण तो यही शरीर के साथ गए, अंतकरण के तो उसके डिस्ट्रॉय हो चुके हैं because of the sadhana. So with this he says, Hey Dhananjaya, he's going to now conclude in the next verse, 42nd verse, and to say that he'll tell Arjuna, therefore, removing all doubts from yourself, Uttishta, get up and act. And that we will do today evening, 5:30. We will come back. Let's conclude the class. पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः. हरि ओम्.
हरिओम दीप्ति जी।
हरिओम दीप्ति जी।
हरिओम।